Most marathoners show up on race day crossing their fingers. They think they can hold their goal pace, but they've never actually tested it in training. There's a workout almost nobody's using that predicts whether your goal is realistic and gives you a late stage fitness boost. It's called the Rosario 800s. It's a twist on the classic Yasso 800s, adapted by legendary run coach Ben Rosario. And yeah, it's tough, but it's the kind of tough that gives you answers. I'll be going over what Rosario 800s are and how they compare to Yasso 800s, why this workout works and who it's best for, exactly how to do it and modify it for your race, how to use it alongside other race predictors like tempo runs and VDOT calculators, how to fit it in your training, plus where to grab my free 8-week tempo training guide. Yes, I give that to you for free. Just wait around for that. It will come very soon. I'm Darren D. Lake Run, certified run coach, sub 3 hour marathoner, 10-hour Ironman finisher, and this is the 1% Better Runner, where we are not about hacks and gimmicks and 3-week training plans to get you from couch to 5K. No, we don't do that. What we are all about is so that you can get better today, next month, next year, next decade. It's all about long-term, consistent, and incremental 1% gains. All right, first, what are we talking about? All right, we got Yasso 800s. We're gonna do 5 pairs of 800s. It's gonna be about 9.6 Ks of efforts on all, right? Faster than marathon pace, at marathon pace. You got this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Run 800 meters. That's 2 laps of a track, a normal track. And if you hit your marathon goal time in minutes and seconds for each rep, you're supposedly, quotation marks, in shape for that marathon time in hours and minutes. Example, 3:30 per rep per 800 meter equals a 3 hour and 30 minute marathon. Sounds nice and tidy, right? But here's the issue. If you're genetically blessed with a high VO2 max or a lot of fast twitch muscles, I have that, you can pretty much sprint through your way through those Yasso 800s. So we're thinking about the Yasso 800 because this is an adaptation of the Yasso 800s. And you can look ready even if your endurance isn't dialed in. I've done that and I did not nail a certain marathon many, many years ago. This is a huge problem, again, for me, not a humble brag. And I'm sure a certain amount of people, 25, 30, 50% of people out there. I love the Rosario 800s because they felt like a very calm tempo run. And tempo runs for me can get a bit hairy at the edges and I start to fall apart if my fitness isn't there. My heart rate starts creeping up and I just get tired and I'm just like, what's going on here? That's where Rosario 800s come in. Instead of stopping or fully recovering, you float between reps, meaning you do 800 meters at your Yasso pace and then 800 meters, 25 seconds slower over and over, no stopping. That's the difference. This weeds out all those cheaters. If you can't hold the pace while fatigued, it's a sign you need to adjust your expectations, not just for the workout, but for race day. But here's the nuance. Here's reading between the lines, the gray zone. Just because you can nail this workout doesn't guarantee you'll hit the marathon goal. It doesn't go both ways. Race day is its own beast, weather, pacing, fueling, mindsets, full-on endurance, you have an aerobic base, etc. So use this as one piece of the puzzle alongside other things like VDOT calculator, tempo runs, long tempo runs, fast finish long runs at race pace, overall consistency over 12 to 26 weeks, etc. And for newer runners, start with fewer pairs. So again, a 1 pair is 1 fast 800 at your marathon pace and then 1 float, slightly slower 800. So that's 1 pair. So think 3 to 4 pairs and then build up over time. More experienced marathoners can handle 5 to 6 pairs. Ideally, you can sprinkle these throughout your training blocks. So let's say you have a 12, 16, 26 week training block. You can do them 2 or 3 times throughout it and see what your progression is. Here's how to actually do it. Find your Yasso pace. Let's keep it easy. If you're targeting a 3 hour, 30 minute marathon, aim for 3 minutes, 30 seconds per 800 meter rep. So that's 2 laps on a regular track. No marathon goal, use the VDOT calculator, which the link is below in the video description or in the show notes of your podcast player if you're listening. And you use a VDOT calculator of your recent race result, or even you can plug in some workouts. I highly suggest trying to do 3K or 5K time trial, park run, free park run if you can, and you just at least know where you're at, and then all of the paces and zones make sense from there, and they're mostly accurate within the last, I'd say 4 to 6 weeks. Warm up well, easy jog plus mobility, a few strides, leg swings, etc. You need to be somewhat fit for this. So you need to at least have 6 weeks of base. You have done 1 or 2 speed workouts, interval sessions, and a long run. So run paired 800s. Do 800 meters at your Yasso pace, so 3 minutes for this example, 3 minutes and 30 seconds, and then float 25 seconds slower. So you run another 800 meters, and you do this 25 seconds slower, which would be, let's do the math from there, it would be 3 minutes, 55 seconds. So you need to adjust what the minutes per mile is, the actual pace is on your watch, and what the minutes per kilometer if you're on metric, because you need to know. So it's a bit of a playing. You might go a bit faster on that first float, the easy one, or you might go a bit slower on the second one. You'll figure it out. You can just slow it down. It's not the end of the world if you go 5 seconds or slower or faster. You'll figure it out from there. And then start with the right volume. So again, newer runners, 3 to 4 pairs. Start with 3, see how you feel. If you feel great, do a 4th one. If you feel like trash, stop before the 4th one. Experienced runners, you can start at 4 maybe. If you're doing 3 throughout the whole season, then do 5 and then do 6. And you should be able to feel very, very good as you're going through, as you're progressing through. So at the end, cool down, easy jog, stretches, dynamic stretches, static stretches at the end, especially hips, back, and hamstrings. I'm big on that type of stuff. That's for a whole nother episode. So I know what you're thinking. Hey, Darren, I want to apply this right now. Well, guess what? I got you. If you want this plugged into a full training plan, plus a cheat sheet and a quick start guide and a checklist, when to do it, how often, how to balance it with your tempo runs, long run, etc., I got you covered. You can get my free 8-week tempo training guide, which is down in the description, or the QR code right here. Or if you're listening in your podcast player, just open that up in the show notes. It's quick to download, and you'll also, as a bonus, get signed up for my newsletter with bonus tips on mental fitness, nutrition, VO2 max, tempo, pacing, race day mindsets, etc. Whole lot of stuff all jammed in there. Go get that right now. Why does this workout matter? It's not just about raw speed, it's about controlled endurance. The float forces you to stay just below your red line and teaches your body and brain to hold steady under pressure. It's marathon-specific grit training. And here's the big thing. If you're failing these workouts, it's a huge sign to rethink your goal pace or dial in your training. It's better to figure that out now than blow up on race day and go, woe is me, you're crying. No, you can sort all that out in training right now. Another reason why I think it matters is it's actually a really, really good workout. I don't do well with tempo runs, especially in the beginning when my body is not ready for tempo runs. I genetically don't do well with tempo runs. This is such a little hack for tempo because it feels easy, but my heart rate's actually not dropping that low on the floats, and it's not going that high on the hard sessions. Whereas when I do intervals, my heart rate goes pretty high, then it drops pretty low. When I'm doing VO2 max intervals, 400s, 800s, 1K repeats, etc., my heart rate will get high and get low, but this really sits me, for me, between 160, 170, which is threshold. It's a little bit below threshold, but towards the end, I hit threshold, and that's something I need to work on. I do not touch that because, 1, I'm not very good at it, and 2, I just really don't like that type of running. So if I want to get better at 10K running, half marathon, even marathon, running at my threshold will help me, and this workout does that. This isn't just a marathon workout. You can modify it for other races too. So half marathon, fast 800s at slightly faster than your half marathon pace and float at marathon pace. 10K, fast 800s at 5K pace, float at 10K pace. Fewer reps, 3 to 4 pairs. 5K, fast 800 at a touch faster than your goal 5K pace, and then you float at your threshold pace. What I say, threshold is probably between 10K and half marathon, and it keeps you snappy, it keeps you honest. Ultra, fast 800s at your marathon pace, and then you float easier than marathon pace. I'd say to float at probably 25 seconds slower than marathon pace if you're doing ultras. It's probably not as super relevant for ultras, but if you want to do some speed work, shake it up as you've just been doing long slogs on the trails or whatever for ultras, this is a great variation, a great modification for the workout for you, etc. Focus on total volume and time on feet. So here's what I want you to think about. Are you just banking miles, kilometers, or are you deliberately training your body to handle pressure when it counts? I'm pretty sure, again, you want to implement this in your own training, in your own racing life, and you're like, how do I do this? I got you covered. That download that I talked about in the middle, please go get that. It's free right here, QR code. It's the 8 weeks to sub-threshold training guide, the quick start guide, and you get the 8 weeks of training. And as a bonus, you'll sign up for that newsletter, a whole bunch of tips, tricks, tactics, tools, etc. all on running and life and mental, etc. So that every week in your email inbox, you'll get something that's 5 minutes or less, that is tools and tactics to help you train 1% better, VO2 max, tempo runs, nutrition, etc. I go deep, I find stuff all over the internet, tried and true things that I find out, analogies and stories, etc. It is awesome. Join 2,000 other people with that. So if you want to learn more about this topic, check out my next video on sub-threshold running. It's all about how training just under your edge can unlock your biggest gains on race day right now.